Exporting an image for print that will print perfectly in terms of cropping, sharpness and quality can be a tricky experience. Fortunately, it's very easy in CaptureOne to achieve that by making a simple process recipe. So in this tutorial, I'll use the example of preparing an image for print for ltype.com, a printing service. But you can always apply this to any other printing service that you might use. First of all, in the Process Recipes tool, I'll create a new recipe by clicking on the plus button. As I said, this is going to be for an L-type print and sized at A3. It's a good idea to name your process recipe something sensible so you know what it's actually doing. Next, I need to set the parameters in my Process Recipe tool for this given recipe. So my format can stay the same, as can my ICC profile, but I do need to change the resolution for this service up to 400 pixels per inch. This is really important because next I'm going to set the specific dimensions of the print, and CaptureOne will need the resolution so it can scale the image appropriately. So for an A3 size print with a border on the L-type service, I need to put in specific dimensions in millimeters, which is going to be 369 by 246. Next, I want to make sure that my crop is perfect for the dimensions that I've set. So if I long press on the crop tool, I can change this to output. Now, as soon as I start cropping, you'll see the dimensions will snap exactly to 369 by 246. So however I change the crop, those dimensions will be locked. So I can set my crop perfectly like so. So now I know that's exactly what's going to be printed. With my cropping in place and the rest of my process recipe parameters, I now want to ensure that I'm going to deliver an optimized file in terms of sharpness. So in the Adjustments tab, under Sharpening, I'll set Output Sharpening for print. CaptureOne will base the amount of sharpening required on the resolution and scaling we set earlier, and also the viewing distance. So as these are going to be viewed at approximately arm's length, I'll put in a distance of 40 centimeters. And to visualize this, we can use recipe proofing. So if I first zoom the image to 100% and then click on the spectacles icon in the toolbar, that will then simulate the scaling and sharpening on screen. And I can have a scan around the image just to make sure it's looking great in all areas. Now, don't be alarmed if it perhaps looks a little over sharp on screen. Remember, this is going to print. I find the amount of 80 works great for most photographic subjects and print mediums. But of course, if you want to test, you could always experiment by adjusting the amount slider and sending a few prints off. Now that I'm happy with my output sharpening, I can turn off recipe proofing and export the image ready to send for print. In the File tab of the process recipe, I can actually control where my output is going to go. Now in this case, L-type can connect to my Dropbox. So in the root folder, I can choose my Dropbox here, like so. And CaptureOne will export to Dropbox, and of course that's going to upload immediately. Then I just need to go online and simply order this image for print. To start the export, in the Process Summary tool, I click on Process, and that will go straight to my Dropbox, as we can see here. Don't forget you can apply the steps that you've seen here to any kind of print service, but doing it this way ensures that you have a repeatable, consistent output with optimized sizing and sharpness for your print.